So let's talk about toys and death. The cast iron cook stove is perhaps the most iconic domestic symbol of the 19th century. It was introduced in the Northeast in the 18-teens, and by the 1840s and 50s they were extremely popular and spreading west. The cook stove was more fuel efficient and safer than cooking on open hearths and brick ovens, and overall they were a lot more convenient and made cooking tasks easier. When wood and coal-burning cast iron cook stoves began appearing in kitchens in the 1840s, miniature versions also began appearing as toys for girls. Many of these were made by toy companies, but you also see stove companies making miniatures of their real-life products. Some were as salesman samples used to demonstrate features of the stove, but they were also advertised as toys in the back of their product catalogs. Some of these were pretend toys, but many of them were actually quite functional. I think most of us can recall an easy-bake oven and cooking with a low-wattage light bulb. But these cast iron stoves could burn real fuel, and later these enameled versions mimicked electric stoves and got extremely hot when they were plugged in. Can you imagine giving a 7 or 8-year-old child their own working wood-burning stove with open flames? But remember, parenting during this time was a lot different than now. Children were seen and thought of as small adults, and the idea of play in a child's life was a lot different back then. If we go back to the adult version, using a real wood-fired cook stove was still quite labor-intensive. They were difficult to clean and to maintain, they were hard to operate, and knowledge of fire management was very important. Learning to use the cook stove correctly was critical, and it was best for girls to learn this process in childhood. So, while these stoves could be seen as playthings, they were also teaching tools for girls. Young girls needed to learn how to do this because it was going to be their duty as wives and housekeepers. It was part of their domestic obligation. Cooking, cleaning, ironing, washing laundry, sewing, all of that. Girls were being encouraged into domestic play. The gender gap in household chores was replicated in their toys. Actually, if you look through the Sears catalog, you'll see listed toy cook stoves, toy sad irons and flat irons, toy laundry washers, sewing machines, etc. And these toys could work like the adult versions and were just as dangerous for girls as they were for adult women. These kids were mimicking what they were seeing their mothers doing and playing with actual fire and hot irons. You can actually find newspaper articles of girls being injured and even killed playing with these toys, setting kitchens on fire, burning houses down, setting themselves on fire. These toys could actually be pretty gruesome and even in some cases deadly for young girls.